Hello and welcome to my channel. I've got another one in the quest log for you, and today I'm going to give you my thoughts on LSS's new ban and suspension announcement. But before I get there, I want to say thank you so much. We got to my goal. Not only did I hit 150 subscribers with that last video, we got above and beyond that. We're at 165 now, I think. So thanks for all of your support, everybody. I loved all of your comments. It was really awesome. Let's do it again. I'm not expecting anything crazy from this, but hey, let's hit 170 subscribers. That's only 5 more. That's not so much further. And I also want to say I'm going to the world premiere Taipei. I got really lucky, and I have a friend that's going, Tyler, with Righteous Gaming. And I'm going to go there and help him out and be working the booth. So if you watch my videos and enjoy my content, come say hello. I want to talk to you and meet you face to face. I'll be playing in the calling. Wish me luck. Let's see what they've got cooked up for us today. We're gonna get into this ban and suspension announcement, and I am surprised. I've already read a little bit of this, and if you watched my video before, I talked a bit about some of the cards I think need to be removed, reprinted, and replaced. I wanted them, LSS, to unban some things, and boy, did they unban some things. Not what I was expecting at all. Some of the stuff fulfilled what I was thinking. If you haven't watched yet, go back and watch it. Awesome video. Really enjoyed making it and loved watching everybody enjoy it too. Okay, so this part surprised me. There are the first thing and the fourth thing here, these surprised me, but let's just go through the stuff that isn't so surprising. The Scepter of Pain, I kind of mentioned this in my video, I think. Where I believed it would either be the Reaping Blade or the Scepter of Pain, strictly because it made no sense that you sit across from a Florian and not know if you needed AB3 or not. It was too punishing, and LSS thought the same thing. They actually gave their reasoning here. It made a lot of sense, and I think that was worth like kind of pulling Florian back a little bit. Germinate being banned, this one is a little surprising, but I think this is a card that was worth banning. It didn't hit every other Earth hero, and I think that falls in what I was expecting. If it wasn't gonna be like red rootbound Carapace, it'd probably be something else like the Reaping Blade that would tone him back. But I think Germinate's a good one because it's a blue block 3, does everything he wants to do. We get to the very end game, gives it inevitability, he gains a ton of life and makes all these rune chants, and boom, Florian's there and he just wins the game. I think that's fine. That reduces his win percent just a little bit and stops him from just outright running away with the game in the end. There's a little through line here that I don't like, and that we're now banning 2 of the biggest life gain cards in the classic constructed format. And I'm a huge fan of life gain. I think it's really good. But now that we're also banning Count Your Blessings, they're sending a very clear message that they experimented with life gain as a mechanic in Flesh and Blood Classic Constructed, and it is not working out. I'll be honest, I thought that they would have unbanned Count Your Blessings Blue, strictly because we're going into this new set, High Seas, where we have a Necromancer that cares about the graveyard. Like, wouldn't they give us a bunch of commons and rares that would banish stuff from the graveyard or do some graveyard interaction, which is a lot of what we've been seeing. But I guess they just decided that it's not worth it. That life gain needs to come back into the game and do a different format in a different way, and this experimentation isn't working. So I was really skeptical about this when I first saw it. I was like, oh great, we're just giving in to the people who just hated playing against life gain decks, but I think they're handling it well. And it comes down to this, where they validate both perceptions. They're valid. There's one half, they recognize that half the community likes this and the other half doesn't. But they bring up some good points. The first one is that at the armory level, like, it's not very fun, and it's just creating 50-minute slugfests. They mentioned that a little bit further down here, right? But I think the most important part about their ban and what they mentioned is the development time. This makes a lot of sense when they're trying to create a really fun gameplay experience at all levels, and now they have to always account for this card that just can double a hero's life total. All right, I get it. I understand. That makes sense. You want to spend your time developing other more fun gameplay mechanics in this game. I get it. 50-minute slugfests aren't fun to watch. but they're kind of just saying we don't like the fatigue, we don't like the hyper extreme fatigue game plan, and we don't like the hyper extreme aggro game plan, so we kind of need to ban those things and kind of need to tone them down a bit. Cool. You know what? You've convinced me, LSS. I was skeptical at first when you said we're gonna ban Count Your Blessings in total. I get it though. You make a very valid point from a development perspective. You experimented with something new, a different kind of gameplay mechanic, and it turns out it was just a little too good and not a whole lot of fun. So you toned it down and you said, you know, we're gonna do it in other ways. I think that there are some new cards coming out that have life gain that aren't as substantial and crazy. They tone down Florian a little bit, they get him under control. I get that. Here's what I don't understand. Bonds of Ancestry Red getting unbanned was the biggest shock I have seen in this game. The book burning bannings wasn't like as much of a shock either. When I saw them ban all of that, I was like, you know what, that makes sense. All this stuff makes sense getting rid of it. This is a tougher one to sell to me. And when I first saw this, I thought, yeah, it's unbanned until the next ban and announcement, like a BNR, right? And I think they're kind of in the same spot here. Like scroll down and look at their reasoning. They talk about how it was really busted in Zen, and we're returning the Bonds of Ancestry Red because Katsu got hurt a lot, and they haven't been able to fix Katsu. But here's where it gets really funny. It is unclear whether this card has a long-term future in the classic constructed format, but the coast feels sufficiently clear at this point to cautiously reinsert a single color into the metagame. Okay, cool. You know what? You're on the same boat as me, where we look at this. See, I can do high seas puns too, right? Coast, boat. Anyway, you can kind of like see that, guys, like this is a really strong and busted card. You're basically giving Katsu a whole new tool to just work around in this game. You know what? Fine. Let's give it to Katsu. I personally am worried that we're just going to see Syndras and Phis now running this, and we're going to see combo Phis and combo Syndras running this Bonds of Ancestry. This is a very powerful card that does really powerful things, and I don't know how happy I am to see it back in the game, but you know, prove me wrong. Let's see what happens in the high C set. We're getting some new cards. That's something else that was interesting they mentioned about the expansion slot, is that they're about to add a brand new expansion slot card for Florian that would just make him broken with Germinate. So I'm like, all right, this is interesting. Well, I guess they need Bonds of Ancestry to combat this thing, right? Where I'm really disappointed though is we did not see Wizard get hit with anything. Why do we not have any Wizard stuff? And we're bringing back Ninja stuff. Like I wanted Ball Lightning unbanned, but you know what? We're gonna skip to the end of this article, which I think is the most important takeaway from this, is their solution to the Living Legend problem. So we scroll all the way down to update the Living Legends point distribution. This is, I think, a significant and very healthy change for the game. A while back, I made a video about Flesh and Blood just having too many heroes. We only had one hero rotate last year, one, in Dromai. One, and that was after she received a busted expansion slot card. Anyway, this year we suddenly saw like all of that come to a head where we're seeing like maybe somewhere between 3 to 10 heroes LLing this year. But for some of these heroes, they've been around since the beginning of the game. Look at Welcome to Wraith and Arcane Rising. Like we finally saw the first hero LL from that this year in Viserai. So what they decided to do is that during the first year of legality, a hero's earned Living Legend points will be halved. This solves the Aurora issue, where Aurora just left way too fast. Way too fast. And maybe some people she shouldn't have left that fast, but you know, and when you design a game and you make a hero, you want people to go on an adventure with these heroes, and 6 months is too short an adventure. Enigma can just leave though. Zen can just leave though. Let's just forget that that stuff existed. But from here on out, I actually like that we're going to go on an adventure now with our heroes, and you can actually invest in this new hero, spend all this time developing and growing with them, and recognizing that, hey, they're not going anytime soon, no matter how good or popular they are. So I think that's a brilliant change. The second year, it goes back to just normal, no multiplier, but everything after that, this is the brilliant part. This is where I am okay with Kano not seeing any nerfs. In fact, how about we just unban some wizard stuff to see him go away faster? In all other years of legality, a hero's earned Living Legend points will be multiplied by 1.5. That is huge. We're about to see both Azalea, -IE and Kano leave this year because of this change. Kano may be a stretch. I'll fingers crossed, man. Let's get Kano out. And I'm a little salty because I actually lost to a Kano earlier. But the thing I don't like about Kano is he turns all of my reds into 1 blocks. And that's just, for someone who likes blocking, that really hurts my soul. But hey, like, I get it. Like, this is a really brilliant and really fantastic change. It's a really good middle ground. I think LSS is working really well with this. They didn't have to ban a bunch of other cards because they're just saying, you know what, let's just ban the heroes that use them. And I predicted that we would have banned 3 of a kind, and it was 3 of a kind and maybe Tri-Shot. But one of the stipulations that I made was that maybe Tri-Shot would be suspended until Death Dealer's gone. And 3 of a kind maybe isn't going to be as broken, but I still think that it's going to lead to some very powerful turns. The thing here is I think Azalea's gone within the first 30 days. Like, by Nat season, Azalea's leaving. Death Dealer is just it's not going to be in the game anymore. So I think that a lot of those like Ranger problems are going to solve themselves within a couple of weeks, so they don't really actually need to ban anything from Ranger, because with this new change, Azalea just has to win, I think it was like 1 Nats, 1 Nationals somewhere, maybe 2, and then she's gone. All right, Death Dealer's gone. Then we don't really have to deal with this crazy Marlin here. Yeah, let us have a really powerful Marlin. If 3 of a kind is really nuts, then let's have fun with it. I get that. That's fine. That's cool with me. I'm very excited about this. We were approaching 39 heroes in the game at one time, and now all of these older heroes can just LL out much quicker. That's okay with me. And I have some friends that are like giving me some like rough shot opinions of this. Is like, well, what if my hero gets really good and suddenly he's gone in 3 months and he was bad this entire time? And it's like, well, I guess, sure. That's just the way that it goes, right? Like, some of these heroes do need to LL out so we can replace them with newer versions of that hero or other heroes in the game. So I'm okay with this. I really like this. But we're gonna scroll back here. We're gonna talk a little bit about Blitz. Honestly, I don't want to talk about Blitz. I'm not a fan of Blitz. I think the Blitz is just a format. Sorry about all you Blitz guys. I think that you just need to replace it with either Commoner or Project Blue. Blitz has become way too fast. It's way too difficult to balance with. And hey, I know that there are some people who like the sit down and have 30 minutes, it's 1 or 2 turns, cool. But I think that you get the same experience out of Clash or Project Blue. But you get the much more concise, like, fab experience, but in half the time. I don't know, I don't want to talk too much about it. I think the most interesting piece about this is that they banned Flicker Wisp, which is what they should have done at the beginning of Classic Constructed. So they just kind of learned their lessons from that. But let's go down to Living Legends. Living Legends, I'm just gonna kind of ignore this part, and I'm gonna go to the craziest part of this. I am happy to announce that today that at the 2025 World Championship in Philadelphia, Living Legend will become one of the formats used to determine our world champion. Excuse me? We're gonna have 5 CC matches, 3 or 6 drafts, and then 5 Living Legend matches? Wow, that is massive. Living Legend matters now. I actually have to prepare for Living Legend if I ever want to have a good placement in a Worlds tournament. Okay, maybe they're going to incorporate this into Nationals next year too. This is massive. They've been promising us for a long time that they want Living Legend to be a playable, usable format, a high-powered legacy format. That is cool. I like that they're putting their money where their mouth is, and we can believe them. That maybe 10 years from now, Living Legend will be a premier format that people are involved in playing with, that they will have supported. But presently, this year, I have some problems. And it's this right here. See, the Classic Constructed, most of the time, the bans weren't that sweeping, that crazy. I mean, look at Germinate. It's really not that insane. It just lowers Florian's win percentage points by like 5% overall, maybe. But it wasn't that crazy. This just feels super inconsistent and nuts to me. We're banning 2 massive legendary pieces just flat banned in the whole format? I know these cards are good and they're really good with those good heroes, but that hurts. I don't have a format that I can really play Crown of Seeds in. Blitz, but I don't believe that. No, like, This is really hard pill for me to swallow. And their reasoning down here is that they have to tone these really powerful heroes back a bit, like tone them down a bit because their hero cards are strong. But deleting entire legendary pieces because it just makes the game way too difficult, I'm not a fan of that. And then we come here to the 3 different pieces being restricted. Now we're just adding on more of this and then unrestricting this card here. To me, it just feels like a very inconsistent format that the second a new set comes out, in order for it to maintain its balance, they must preemptively ban cards. They must. That it's going to be consistently changing. It's going to be, it feels inconsistent. I don't think that it's in a good spot yet. It makes me nervous, but you know, I'll wait till June 30th. I'll reserve my opinion and change for them. Let's see how they adjust it and change it. At least I'll have an entire couple of months to prepare for the Living Legend format at Worlds. I don't know. I'm mixed bag on it. I'm excited for it and I love it, but I'm not sure now is the time. However, it's their game. I'll trust them with it, and I'm sure it'll be fun either way. So that's, I think that hits up on everything. That's pretty much everything that I thought. Do you agree with me? What cards did you think that needed to be in? Were you shocked that they finally got rid of the cards? Are you happy? Count your blessings is gone? Well, like, comment, and subscribe. Help me reach my goal to hit 170 subscribers. If you have not subscribed yet, smash that like button. Subscribe to my channel, and excited to see you at the world premiere Taipei. Until next time, guys.